Your world just imploded. Not ended, imploded. One minute you were building a future with a woman you thought was your forever, and the next, boom. She detonated your entire life like it was nothing more than an emotional experiment. Now you're standing in the ashes, gasping for air, wondering how someone who once whispered, "I love you," can walk away like she's just changing her outfit. She's out there laughing, posting selfies, glowing. Well, you can barely remember how to breathe. But here's the part no one tells you. This pain you're drowning in isn't the end. It's initiation. A psychological crucifixion designed to burn away every illusion you've ever had about love, loyalty, and yourself. Because what you're about to learn will change the way you see everything. Right now, you're doing what every man does when his world collapses, trying to understand. You replay every word, every fight, every silence. You're desperate for one more conversation, one more explanation, one more moment where she finally says, "I'm sorry." Stop. You're chasing closure from someone who emotionally left long before she physically walked out. And every second you spend trying to understand her is a second you're bleeding out. Here's the brutal truth about divorce that society hides from men. You're experiencing emotional death while she's experiencing liberation. You're starting the grieving process while she's already finished it. You're just now feeling the explosion. She lit the fuse months, maybe years ago. I once counseled a man whose wife of 15 years left him and started dating 3 weeks later. He was shattered. How could she move on so fast, he asked. Simple. She's been psychologically single for 2 years. While he was fighting to fix the marriage, she was planning her escape. The divorce wasn't the ending. It was confirmation of what she already decided long ago. And here's the hardest pill to swallow. She will never validate your pain. She will never acknowledge her role, never admit the destruction, never say, "I hurt you." Why? Because doing so would collapse the story she's built to justify her actions. In her narrative, she's not the betrayer. She's the survivor. You're not the man she wounded. You're the villain she escaped. This is psychological self-preservation at its peak. To maintain her self-image as a good person, she needs you to be the bad one. Every argument becomes abuse. Every disagreement becomes control. Every boundary you set becomes manipulation. She rewrites history to protect herself from guilt. And the more you fight the story, the truer it becomes in her mind. And here's your second truth. Every attempt to explain yourself is ammunition. Every text, every message, every heartfelt letter becomes evidence of your instability. Your pain will not soften her heart. It will confirm her narrative. I've watched men destroy themselves, trying to get acknowledgement from women who've already turned their suffering into a performance. One man wrote his ex a raw, emotional letter about how her affair broke him. You know what she did? Posted it online, called it emotional abuse, and used it in court to get a restraining order. Your heartbreak became her proof. Understand this. She doesn't want peace. She wants validation, and she'll provoke you to get it. She'll push your buttons, custody changes, missing money, her new boyfriend showing up at your kid's soccer game. Not by accident, but by design. She needs you to explode so she can play the victim publicly. The moment you react, she wins. Your anger becomes her justification. So what do? You stop being predictable. You stop feeding the narrative. You stop playing her game. Because the real power isn't in revenge, it's in silence. Calm is your counterattack. Detachment is your weapon. This isn't just about surviving divorce. It's about becoming untouchable. What looks like loss is actually the death of the man you were never meant to be. The man who needed validation to feel whole. The man who thought love required suffering. That version of you is gone, and good riddance. This is your rebirth. But first, you must learn to watch everything burn without reaching for the flames. I'll do whatever I can for her. The cars, the money, and the mansion. All I want is for her to be content. Perhaps she will recall my true self if she sees how much I'm prepared to give up. Give up. Nobility is not what this is. It's pitiful. More significantly, it is ineffective. In all of human history, no woman has ever turned back to a guy out of sympathy. You don't inspire love when you destroy yourself. It validates her decision to go. You're not being honorable when you give everything away. You're manipulating them. You're attempting to guilt her back. She also sees through it. Additionally, you are ruining your future for someone who doesn't give a damn about your present. One of my clients donated everything to his ex during the divorce. House, assets, and even consent to unaffordable alimony. By his reasoning, perhaps she will realize how much I cherish her. He is now living in his car 2 years later. She still tells everyone that her new partner was abusive. Even now, they live together. She saw his sacrifice as nothing more than a simpler life with someone else. The fourth reality is that you're grieving for more than simply a person. You're grieving for your identity. You were a husband for years or even decades. This role was entwined with your identity. Being her husband has an impact on how you see yourself, how other people see you, and how you navigate the world. You no longer recognize yourself, and that identity is dead. Divorce affects men far more severely than it does women because of this identity death. For months, or perhaps years, she has been getting ready for a new identity. She has already recast herself as the self-reliant woman, the survivor, and the self-discoverer. You are gazing into the mirror, unable to identify the face that is reflecting back at you. You don't know who you are, even if you're no longer a spouse. There are actual bodily signs of this identity breakdown. I can't sleep, but I also can't leave my bed. Gaining weight when unable to eat. Unable to concentrate, but unable to stop thinking. Your body has gone into shock. Your thoughts are racing. Your soul is falling freely. You're literally removing yourself from your marriage's neurochemical rhythms. Decades of pair bonding are causing your brain to detox. And it seems like dying because, neurologically speaking, part of you is. Here are some things concerning the existential crisis of divorce that no one discusses. Though fleeting, the sense of meaninglessness seems endless. At the moment, nothing is important. Your accomplishments seem meaningless. Your future feels vacant. You feel that your past is wasted. You are experiencing what psychologists refer to as a meaning collapse, when everything stops making sense and your life's narrative structure breaks down. This is where we can change things, though. That collapse is your beginning, not your end. It was necessary for that identity to die. You would end up playing a supporting role in your own narrative. You were merely the husband, and she was the main character. Her wants, emotions, and joy turned into your mission, and she departed in part for that reason. Not even the protagonist respects a minor character. The fifth reality. At this point, you have to operate on your own mind. Eliminate the nostalgia as quickly as possible. The pleasant memories you're holding on to are killing you. That hope will return. It's poison. That hope for peacemaking. You're being held in hell by a chain. You must amputate the past to save the future. This is not about ignoring it or acting as though it never happened. It's about accepting that the woman you're grieving for is no longer with us. Perhaps she didn't. The lady you married is not the one who left you. She either showed herself as she always was, or she changed. However, the woman you love is no longer with you. Ghosts don't reappear, and you're mourning one. Let's now discuss practical survival. First, unless it is absolutely required for children or legal concerns, create zero contact. Every conversation you have with her reopens the wound. Her presence, her voice, and her texts are all causing trauma reactions that trap you. You need time to cleanse. Your neurological system must be trained to operate independently of her input. Second, stop seeking validation from those who knew you as a pair. Those friends who used to be pals are no longer buddies. Despite their claims to the contrary, they have taken sides. Your families are unable to bear your suffering because they are still digesting their own shock. You must get new mirrors. People who are able to view you as a unique person rather than as one half of a broken partnership. Third, set short-term, attainable objectives unrelated to her or the past. I don't care if it's learning to make one new food or going to the gym 3 times this week. You must win. Your dopaminergic system is malfunctioning. You fried your reward circuitry. You must regain your sense of achievement and advancement, beginning with small successes. The sixth fact is that if you have kids, they're watching you set an example for how to deal with destruction. This isn't a heaping of guilt. It's meant to be held onto. They're learning if males break down or get back up, whether fathers emerge or fall into despair. Stronger, regardless of whether divorce entails transformation or destruction. Your recuperation is not just about you. It serves as their resiliency template. Here's the catch, though. Avoid using them as your therapists. Don't let them know about mom's treachery. Avoid attempting to persuade them to support you. They are not prepared to handle your suffering, and it is abuse to use them as an emotional support system. They depend on you to be their rock and source of stability. For their sake, pretend until you succeed, even if you're breaking on the inside. The seventh fact: on social media, she will appear content, but it will be like sulfuric acid to your soul. Writing's about my best life, vacations, and new relationships. Recognize this. It's a show. No one is that joyful after destroying a family. It's a spectacle for other people, but she puts herself first. She must persuade herself and everyone else that she made the right decision. Avoid torturing yourself while you watch her perform. Block her on all platforms. For self-preservation, not retaliation. Psychological self-harm is present in every picture you view and every update you read. In order to validate your suffering, you're pain shopping and seeking proof of her happiness. Give up. You are no longer worried about her seeming contentment. If you haven't already, allow me to explain the impending rage. A fiery, red fury that lets you comprehend crimes of passion. Rage at her departure. Feel angry with yourself for not anticipating it. Rage at the globe for keeping spinning even after you've stopped. Although this rage is natural, even necessary, it can be harmful if not controlled. Make use of your rage as fuel rather than fire. Fuel helps you move forward. Fire simply destroys everything. Take that rage to the gym. Make a company out of it. Use it to change your life, career, and body. However, don't let it dictate choices. Avoid sending that text. Avoid going to her place. Don't damage her vehicle. Anger is energy focused on building rather than destruction. The eighth truth: you will never find the kind of closure you desire. Hollywood myths about closure are untrue. There isn't any dialogue that will make sense. No justification that will please you. No apology will make you feel better. Accepting that some stories cease in the middle of a phrase brings closure. There are some questions that are never addressed. Certain wounds just develop into scars over time. Give up attempting to figure out why she went. In any case, her justifications aren't genuine. These are post hoc explanations used to support an emotionally driven choice. I wasn't content. Even so, what does that mean? We drifted away. Passive voice in order to escape responsibility. I must discover who I am. The first person she found was someone else. Since they aren't the true reasons, the explanations are pointless. Additionally, she may never even tell herself the true reason. The ninth reality: your recuperation period is both shorter and longer than you anticipate. Contrary to what everyone thinks, you won't be over this in a few months. The general rule is to recover for at least 1 month every year. However, you won't feel this way indefinitely. The excruciating pain does subside. The incessant thoughts do lessen. The physical discomfort does go away. However, this is what no one brings up. You will experience days of setbacks, but by 6 months, you will be doing well. After that, you're back in the pit after hearing a song, smelling perfume, and seeing a couple that look like you used to. Ambush griefs like these are common. They are neither regression nor failure. They are merely traumatizing echoes that are becoming less loud. Let's now discuss the errors you should avoid. Don't jump right into a new relationship to make up for the loss. Using someone else as emotional morphine is what that is, and it always ends horribly. To become whole as a person, you must learn to sit by oneself and be alone. Instead of being a last-ditch need, the next relationship ought to be a decision. Avoid attempting to win the battle of social narrative. She has already given her version to everyone, so attempting to change it comes across as resentful and unstable. The truth will finally be revealed to those who matter. Those who instantly accept her story were never your pals in the first place. Let her tell the story. The real recovery is yours. Don't disregard your bodily well-being. Divorce is not only an emotional, but also a physical catastrophe. Your roof is the source of your cortisol. Most likely, your testosterone levels are low. You have a weakened immune system. Exercise is like medicine for you. Sleep is vital to your survival. You require nourishment as building components. Your rehabilitation starts with your body. If you ignore it, everything else will fall apart. The 10th fact: you will eventually see the gift in this destruction. Eventually, not today or tomorrow. The gift of realizing your identity once everything outside of you is taken away. The blessing of creating a life that is genuinely yours. The gift of standards that you were unaware you required. The strength you were unaware you possessed. I'm not implying that you will be appreciative of the split. Toxic positivity __ is that. However, you will be grateful for who you are as a result of it. The man who enters this fire is not the same man who comes out of it. He is transformed from suffering into something more resilient, lucid, and genuine. In order for the man to be reborn, the spouse must die. This is your survival guide. Straightforward and harsh. Recognize that the marriage is over and will never be revived. Cut off all needless contact right away. Delete every picture, message, and comment. Now they are poison. Establish regular habits that are non-negotiable. Exercise, work, and sleep. Look for a therapist who will push you to improve rather than just acknowledging your suffering. Join a men's group where you may express yourself without fear of criticism. Make a one-year goal that is unrelated to her or your relationships. Goals for your career, fitness, skill development, travel, or anything else that propels you ahead are all acceptable. You require a North Star that isn't outdated. You will revert to your old fixation if you don't focus on the future. Instead than attempting to run away from the pain, learn to sit with it. Avoid using drugs, drink, porn, or rebound relationships to make yourself numb. Information is the source of the anguish. It's undergoing change. It is evidence that you are conscious and living. Allow it to impart its lesson to you. Then release it. Resisted pain doesn't go away. Painful transformations are accepted. Recognize that your ex-wife is now a complete stranger who just so happens to be familiar with your past. Your spouse is no longer with you. Someone else is the one who departed. Keep your distance from her as courteously as you would from any stranger. No love or hate, only friendly indifference. She is no longer more than the person you once knew. The 11th fact: there will be days when you don't want to live. Giving up will seem reasonable since the suffering will be so great, the future so dismal, and the efforts so draining. Your recuperation is defined by these days. It's the bad days when you decide to keep going, not the good days when hope comes back. Every gloomy day that is survived is a triumph that strengthens resilience. If you're experiencing suicidal thoughts, seek professional assistance right now. This is intelligence, not weakness. Your brain may not be generating the chemicals required for logical cognition because it is literally traumatized. Use every resource at your disposal, including support groups, therapy, and medication if required. Even if it doesn't seem like it at the moment, your life counts. The 12th truth: you will experience love once more, but in a new way. The gullible, blind faith of youth won't be the next love. Love will have to be earned, guarded, and characterized by norms and boundaries. With your eyes wide, your independence unhindered, and your identity unwavering, you will adore. It'll be less intense, but more tranquil, less euphoric, but more enduring. However, that is a long way off. You must fall in love with yourself at this moment. Corny, perhaps required, definitely. You must become someone you would want to spend the rest of your life with. Not for her or anybody else, but because you will have to live with yourself all the time. Prioritize making the relationship work. What is this here to teach me? Should be your new question instead of why did this happen to me? Practically speaking, not in some new age spiritual side trip. Which boundaries were absent from your life? Which warning signs did you overlook? Which aspects of yourself did you give up? What can be learned to keep this from happening again? The reality of men's post-divorce healing. Though initially slower than women's, it is eventually more comprehensive. Women frequently have lifelong trust issues and subliminal resentment. Men typically experience a cleaner psychological break when they have fully healed. You are capable of complete rebirth, but only if you put in the effort rather than passively waiting for things to get better. One choice marks the beginning of your new existence. Will this divorce leave you a graduate or a victim? Victims never change despite receiving sympathy and telling the same tale again and over. Graduates absorb the knowledge, apply the lessons, and grow into better men. The decision has nothing to do with your past. It all comes down to how you respond to what has occurred to you. The male advantage in divorce recovery is as follows. Everything can be rebuilt from the outside. Men's resources include their social lives, careers, finances, and physical health. She shares motivational sayings about discovering who you are, but you can genuinely recreate yourself. New abilities, a new physique, new passions, and a new existence. Every time, action is preferable to reflection. Put an end to your attempts to be the guy she desired you to be. The man in question got divorced. Before you began changing your shape to get her approval, start being the guy you were destined to be. Which dreams did you give up on? Which interests did you give up? Which aspects of yourself have you buried? Dig them up. Bring them back to life. Your true self is calling you home at that moment. The 13th truth. Her swiftly moving on does not imply that your affection was in vain. It indicates that she dealt with the breakup of the relationship while it was still going on. Her speedy recuperation has nothing to do with you. It has to do with her survival plan. Don't allow her schedule control how you recover. There is no competition for you. She is fleeing from suffering. You're sprinting toward development. Completely different races. Recognize the changing dynamics of your family and friends. Some individuals will vanish since they are unable to manage your suffering. Some will provide you with unanticipated assistance. Some will admit that they never liked her in the first place. During this time, let people show you who they are. Your true tribe is the group of people who are currently supporting you. Replace a few routines with new rituals. Use that Sunday morning coffee you had together to practice meditation by yourself. It's either boys' night or hobby time now, instead of that Thursday date night. Avoid leaving gaps where routines once existed. Add fresh patterns to them that support your own identity. The 14th truth. When her happiness ceases to sting and her problems cease to be fulfilling, you will know you are healing. Without flinching, you can hear that she's engaged. When you can watch her at children's events without feeling overwhelmed. When she truly loses any bearing on how you're feeling. That lack of interest is not coldness. It's liberty. Keep this in mind above all else. You're not attempting to return to your pre-event self. Goodbye. That man is no more. He was on the verge of catastrophe. You're creating a completely other person. Someone who is self-aware, sets boundaries, picks his fights, and never loses himself in another person. The ultimate reality. You're not a failure because of this divorce. It's your schooling. You're receiving a PhD in limits, self-respect, and genuine life. Pain is the instruction. It's survival coursework. The graduation is getting out of hand. You get credit toward that degree each day you live. Although it doesn't seem like it, your ex-wife did you a favor at one point. She delivered you from an unappreciated relationship. She freed you from a situation in which you had become lost. You received the gift of rock bottom from her. Additionally, rock bottom provides a strong base for reconstruction. There, you couldn't have changed with her. Her departure was essential to your development. Don't wait for her to understand what she's lost. She refuses. Give up expecting karma to teach her a lesson. It may not. Give up on the idea that justice will be served. It hardly ever does. Her suffering cannot be the basis for your recovery. Her remorse cannot be necessary for your development. Her failure cannot determine your future. Allow her to live her life as she chooses. Your own resurrection is your business. Gentlemen, be aware of this if you're now in the midst of this nightmare. You make it through, not due to your strength. You don't have to be powerful. You will live because that is what people do. We persevere. We adjust. We triumph through basic, unyielding persistence, not willpower or wisdom. Simply keep moving forward. That's all. Don't stop, please. I would like to speak with you. In what stage of this trip are you? Still in disbelief? Furious? And beginning to recover? Leave a comment with your tale. Not out of compassion, but out of solidarity. Every man who tells another man about his survival gives him hope that it is doable. We are all traversing this valley. We might as well go for a walk together. Music